let me ask you this.
Yep.
You can go and use that like a credit card at the store?
Absolutely. Yeah, and it just takes...
What the hell do you need a credit card for?
This is tantamount to a slap in the face.
Oh, get out of here.
Jerry, a gift not enjoyed is like a flower that doesn't blossom.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight. He ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count. Our chairs stacked just like a mountain. You heard about it, she running her mouth.
I really don't want to be one of these fans, you know, the kind that does the revisionist history or the coulda, shoulda, woulda. But man, how wide open does the Eastern Conference feel right now, you guys?
Pretty wide open.
Like, if everything else played out the way that it did in the East, and Dame doesn't have the Achilles injury, yeah, it probably would have been a tough, battle between them and the Pacers, right? Because it was already shaking out to sort of be that way. But Pacers knocked off the Cavs. Cavs are out. Pacers move on. Knicks right now look like they're going to move on with the injury to Tatum for Boston. The Eastern Conference Finals will likely be, we know the Pacers are in, them and the Knicks. And man, wouldn't this have been a year that the Bucks could have taken advantage of some of those developments? And I sit here over here and just am like, ugh.
But what will it take to give Indiana credit? Indiana's better than you think.
They get credit. I mean, because there's nothing wrong. I mean, there was one game where 3 guys missed for the Cavs, and then the Cavs blew that lead, and they had the miraculous comeback for the Pacers like they did for the Bucks in Game 2. But the Cavs are mostly healthy, had the best record in the East, and they dispatched of them in 3 games. Or excuse me, in 5 games. You get credit for that. It's not like the Knicks. Like, if you don't want to give the Knicks credit because, well, the first team All-NBA guy for the Celtics is now out for the remaining of the series. Missed the end of the game the other night because of his Achilles.
But they were still up 2-0.
Yeah. Yeah, after the Celtics blew 20-point leads.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you have the team with the best record in the conference out. Mm-hmm. You have the team that everybody thought, the defending champs, the team that everybody thought had the best chance of winning it, according to Vegas for a long time, out, likely out, most likely out. It just, I'm not trying to take anything away from the Knicks. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Pacers, but it just feels like that injury to Dame Lillard was so pivotal.
I'm just trying to draw a parallel Indiana to the NFL because the NFL is so awesome. Do we have any?
I mean, it'd be basically any team that's been a 3 or 4 that, that made a run to a conference
But they've done
finals.
it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
They beat the Knicks,
last
the Bucks last year.
And then beat the Knicks last year.
So
to go to the East Finals.
Selling Indiana a little bit.
What do you mean underselling? Because I think they're good. I don't want to act like they're not good.
They're
they
not
just
better than
fell into a win here against the Bucks and now against the Cavs. They're fast.
Yeah.
I think that's
Carlisle, a good coach.
Yes.
Good, real
he's
good coach.
He's a solid coach. Yeah.
See, I don't think he's. Now this doesn't. It feels like. Okay,
I mean, Rick
Carlisle's
been around forever.
Yeah, I know.
Forever. He's solid. He's not one of the best 5 guys in the sport.
Okay. Don't yell at me.
They don't have anybody on their team who can hang with Giannis, though.
No.
I will say, though, obviously it got tough for Giannis when he was having to do it all against a much deeper team, I feel like, against the Pacers. But here we are again now watching the NBA playoffs roll out, shake out, and I just have that moment of like, what if? And I don't want to be that fan. But that's what my inner turmoil is right now. It's that you never know what's going to happen down the road. You never know how injuries are going to play a role. But I'm sitting here going, oh, gosh, this would have been a year, man. Capitalize, take advantage, make a run. Or maybe, Gabe, you think they weren't good enough to make a deep run. I don't know. I don't want to rewrite history. I don't want to sit here and act like the Bucks were so good. They obviously had their deficiencies even when Dame was on the court. But Oh man,
because he also missed the first couple of games without Dame because he was still coming back from the deep vein thrombosis. So I think that factors in as well. You only had Dame for a game and a half or whatever ended up being in that series. So,
but is there a shift? You can feel a shift. OKC, Minnesota, Indiana. It's no more Golden State, LA. It looks like Denver's got a good chance to lose. I don't know. Is this a shift?
Yeah, I think so. And
is that why you rebuild?
No, I think that's why you retool with Giannis.
Okay, we're calling it a retool. That's fine. I'm good with
because rebuild to me means you're trading Giannis. Because, if you're going to rebuild, you're stripping it down to the studs, and you're going to rebuild with whatever young pieces you get back in return for Giannis.
No, I'm saying those guys that have player options that opt out. Bobby Portis. Okay, blow the whole thing up. Lopez gone. Blow it up. The only constant is Giannis.
Yeah, retool around Giannis. Yeah.
That's a retool?
That's a retool. Because you have Giannis. You've got one of the best five players, one of the best three guys in the league.
Okay.
I'd call it a retool.
You?
I think, and this is what I wanted to get to, when you're trying to convince Giannis, we talked about this all at length yesterday, for a gap year. And we did have people reacting on the Carbless Talk and text line saying it's not a gap year, it's going to be a gap decade. Okay, I prefer to be more optimistic than pessimistic when it comes to the future with Giannis. But I do think that you could use this as a selling point. I think if you're the Bucks, and look, I'm not trying to say that you're trying to pull the wool over Giannis's eyes, right? You're not trying to convince him of something he doesn't know. But I think the way the Eastern Conference is shaking out could be used as a, hey, look, man, on any given year sort of thing. And you could look at it and say, if you think that we can put a team around you that can compete with the Pacers of the world, which I think Giannis thinks, competitive guy, and the way that those two teams battled in the regular season, I think you might might have some traction, Gabe.
You take a look at the Western Conference, and the West is a gauntlet. It is tough. It is hard. A lot of really good, deep teams out there, and it's been a battle. I think that's the way it's played out. It's how you end up with a 7 seed right now, and the Warriors currently playing in the semifinals. The East feels more wide open, and none of the hypothetical rumored outside of the dip bleep trade we saw for Paul George a couple of weeks ago from the Sixers. Most of the serious suitors, it seems like right now, are coming from the West. And I know things change quickly in the NBA, but it seems like the West is going to be the better conference for a while. So if you're Giannis, all right, do you really want to go to a team out West that's going to be stripped to some of its young assets because that's what it's going to take to get you to that team? Or do you want to stick around in the Eastern Conference and see if the Bucks, who have been able to build a championship roster around you before, can do it again in a lesser conference?
No, I agree.
I think that's part of the pitch.
But I think it will be a gap decade if he leaves. Is that fair?
It's called something else.
What?
Pain.
Yeah. There'll be a little bit of that.
So we had a gap 5 decades between 71 and 21?
Yeah.
That was rough. So as we continue to talk about Giannis and the future of Giannis, I just want to make clear, as a show, I genuinely think that we think he will stay.
Yeah.
We haven't really taken a poll. I haven't really sat there and said, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? But I think generally speaking, it feels like there's a lot to like about being in Milwaukee. We have talked about this. It feels like sporadically, maybe we haven't put it all together, but there are times that we've even discussed hey man, he's got 4 kids and his wife is invested in the community and his mom lives here. And obviously Thanasis, there's a lot of pieces that fit really well with what Milwaukee has to offer beyond what goes on at Fiserv Forum, beyond what goes on inside the Bucks franchise. How much do you think, Chew, that weighs in when a player is making a decision about his future, leaving or staying?
Yeah, I mean it's different for the player than it is the fans, right? Because if he does leave, what percentage of the fan base, I don't want to call it turn,
packs it in,
but will be sour? Half?
To Giannis?
If he says, I'm going to go take a tour, see what's out there, and then decides, you know what, I'm going to go to San Antonio.
I think there are a lot of people that are going to be more understanding of him.
It won't be Aaron Rodgers. It won't be Favre.
No.
It'll be more Fielder.
Correct. That's a good comp.
Well, I'm good. sorry.
You're the Indiana Pacers of this show.
I thank you. I will take that.
I thought you wanted them to be better than good.
I'm good right now. That's
Right.
I
Then we
want
could
that on my tombstone.
meet that standard.
I'm good. That's interesting because I don't agree with you.
I'm just the general feel I have is that because this has been going on for a long time. There's a piece over at The Athletic kind of, chronologically going, hey, this is what happened in 2020 and 2023 when Giannis signed all of his extensions and all the nerves and anxiousness around Milwaukee. But it feels like because this has been going on for so long, people are going to be understanding if Giannis decides, yeah, I won a championship here, can't win another, need to go someplace else.
Is it dependent on where he goes? Because I think people are okay with Favre going to the Jets, but as soon as it turned into Minnesota, it went bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to come into play with the Giannis situation because typically that is reserved for rivals or teams you have bad blood against.
Yeah.
Do the Bucks have any bad blood with the two teams that could potentially put together
Is
a
it
package?
only two?
It certainly feels that way. As far as assets, as far as what it would cost to get Giannis, as far as, like all of those things that the NBA is pretty strict on when trading players and value and whatnot. You can't fleece teams, right? Isn't that the whole point? You try not to fleece them, Gabe?
Yeah, and the Bucks aren't going to accept a lesser than deal. So you need a team that has young assets. You need a team that has a lot of picks.
Let me ask you this: Would it change if he said, "Yes, I'm coming back," but next year then he says, "I'm out of here"?
I don't think so.
I don't know if
it
you
wouldn't
do. You
change
come
at
back this year and then leave next year.
I
Like
don't
this
think
year
so.
is the dark ages, right? As far as like, and again, we might be being hyperbolic and exaggerant there, but like this year feels like the year where it's like, a playoff appearance.
But
would be
the only
great.
reason I say that is because Rodgers. You remember Rodgers?
Mm-hmm.
We all thought there was a good chance he was going to leave the year before he did.
Correct. But then he got the big contract extension.
Yes, and then did he leave or get canned?
Probably depends upon who you listen
Well,
to.
it feels like the way it turned out. I'm going with canned. Feels better. I don't know.
I don't think Giannis, would there be a possibility that Giannis sticks around for the next 2 years and things don't work out in 26, 27 the way he's hoping or the way the Bucks are hoping, and he decides to opt out and leave as a free agent? Yeah, that's a possibility.
I just don't understand. Why would you say this year and then go, like that doesn't make any sense to me.
If you stay this year, you're staying the following year as well.
Correct.
If you elect to come back this year, you're sticking around for 2 years.
Eyes wide open for what this year is.
Yeah.
If you decide, hey, I want to be here for this year, it's because you're committed to the next year when things start to get healthy again.
Yeah, because if you're sticking around, the Bucks convinced you not of 25, 26, but of what can happen in 26, 27.
It's all about the championship.
Yeah. And
That's it. 100%.
Yeah, and they can't win one in 25, 26.
I don't know.
Why did you disagree with Gabe? Did you articulate that? I can't remember.
I forgot what we were disagreeing about. I just wanted to disagree.
Oh, we're doing that today? Hey,
I heard it makes good radio.
Thank you for the heads up. I appreciate
You have a good point on the other side. It makes
What
for
we
good
disagree?
radio.
What?
Giannis and the way the fan base would react if he leaves this year.
Yeah, I think you're wrong. With social media and as fickle as people are today, people like when their athletes are loyal to the state.
And Giannis has been.
And he has been. Probably the most out of every elite athlete in the state.
How long is that list, by the way?
Favre, Rodgers.
Yelich.
Yelich.
Would you put Yelich on the list?
Yelich
Oh,
isn't
no,
on
he
that
got
list.
a stinky.
Why?
Yelich isn't on that list.
Braun?
Not on that list. He's not that. I mean, we're talking about like.
Braun
How
was
far
an
are we going
MVP.
back?
Yeah, so is Yelich, but like
Robin
they're
Yao?
not Hall of Fame players. Like Rodgers, Favre, those guys are in the Hall of Fame. Yelich, Braun, zero chance of making the Hall
That's
of
the
Fame.
standard? I mean, if maybe it is, if we're having this
I mean, if-
conversation.
if-
we
yeah.
can sort of workshop it our way through it. But like, I guess I was thinking elite players are just like move the needle guys. You know?
Yeah, but also the reason why I'm throwing it up there is because at the end of Ryan Braun's career, nobody wanted Ryan Braun. Like the Brewers wanted him, he fit here, but like my guess is if somebody went to Ryan Braun at hey, come playing for us. You'll DH. He probably would have done that. He didn't. Same thing with Christian Yelich. Like, we love Yelly. What would you get for a Christian Yelich trade right now?
Well,
probably not a whole lot.
Yeah. But can you
So I
go
think
back to
that's-
Robin Yount? Can you go back to Kareem?
Well, Yount was obviously the most loyal.
And Kareem was probably the least loyal.
Correct.
I think you're wrong. I'm still saying you're wrong.
You're not sure exactly what. You're saying people's reaction to Giannis if he decided to leave.
Yes.
You think there would be people who would not understand his position?
I think they'd be very upset.
I don't know. I think he's done such a good job.
There's a handful of people.
What did the fact that he sort of has to publicly make a mess turn people?
But Gabe, you even said, we were talking yesterday, you said that this could turn into a PR kind of
fight. The Bucks don't want to trade Giannis. Like, this is all on Giannis. If he leaves Milwaukee, it's because he says he wants to leave Milwaukee. And if I'm the front office, if I'm the ownership of the Bucks, hey man, you got to do that publicly. That's what I'm telling him. If Giannis comes to me whenever they have that meeting that Shams reported that they're going to have and clearly have not had yet, when they come to that meeting and say, yeah, you know what? We appreciate everything you did, but we need to take our career someplace else and try to win a championship someplace else. If I'm Horst, if I'm Wes Edens, whoever's in that meeting, I go, all right, Giannis, we understand. You got to make that demand publicly. We're not going to operate behind the scenes. You got to say that publicly if you want out. And if not, well, we've got you under contract for the next 2 years, so we'll see you in October.
Okay.
So who is the loyalist? Did you say?
Yeah. Yes.
I can't remember who it was. That's why I was racking my brain. Sorry. The only reason I ask is because Jim in the 262 weighed in and said, don't forget about Donald Driver. From a loyalty standpoint, we're not talking about elite.
Sure.
I don't know what that means. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. A lot of stuff to get to this morning, including Adam Schefter.
Indiana
We can get
Pacers
some
wide
insight
receivers.
about what's going on around the NFL from our guy, Adam Schefter, coming up shortly here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound on 41, still heavy from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. The northbound side slowing from Watertown Plank Road all the way up past North, back on the brakes from Burleigh up towards Hampton. Northbound 43 also slowing from the Marquette all the way up towards Keefe. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Morning patchy fog, partly cloudy skies otherwise. Isolated afternoon showers inland with a high of 67 at the lake, 77 inland. Tonight, areas of fog, mild with a low of 50. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Bandana? Check. Boots? Check. Gloves? Check. As a motorcycle rider in Wisconsin, you may go to great lengths to protect your image. Just be sure you're protecting yourself, too. Wear a Department of Transportation-approved helmet. Perform safety checks on your motorcycle. Know the traffic laws and don't take risks. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Summer's getting closer, and Brewers action at American Family Field is only heating up. Don't miss a Midwestern throwdown between the Brewers and the Twins, May 16th through the 18th. Get a Jedi Jackson Churio Star Wars Night bauble with a special theme night ticket on the 16th. Then get here early for an exclusive Brewers cribbage board giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on the 17th. Presented by 620 WTMJ. Get tickets at brewers.com.
Thinking about buying or building a new home? Start with a mortgage pre-approval from Great Midwest Bank and experience a state of tranquility. At Great Midwest Bank, we offer fast approvals and flexible options with experienced loan officers who understand the local market, because they live here too. Whether you're breaking ground for new construction or buying that dream home just around the corner, we'll guide you every step of the way. Bank with confidence and start your journey at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Born in the heart of the earth, natural diamonds rise up like the notes of a song from the throat of Mother Nature.
Rick, that was positively poetic. Mother Nature sings diamonds. Sarah, wow, you can sing.
Born in the heart of a plasma chamber, created diamonds fall softly like snowflakes from the heart of a star.
A star that shines like true love.
Natural diamonds are earthborn.
Created diamonds are starborn.
Kessler's has the largest selection of natural diamonds in the state of Wisconsin. All the different sizes, all the fancy shapes.
Give her a fancy diamond.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
Bigger, brighter natural diamonds.
And financing that makes anything possible.
Kessler's is the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America.
Which means we can do anything we want to do.
For you.
Mother Nature sings diamonds.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
TBD.
No, it's not how this
Attaboy.
works.
Attaboy.
That's not how any of this
That's
works.
how you make content.
What do you mean? What do you mean? That's how it works for him.
What's TBD mean?
To be determined.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
To be determined.
Did you hear him say to be dumb?
To be done. Did Joshy say that?
He did.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Adam Schefter in just a few minutes. Yesterday it was revealed that Sean Ryan missed out on $2 million by 2 snaps. Oof. Yeah. Do you know how angry I would be? Do you know the fury that would exist in my body that would then come out and be projected onto whomever I would like to say was responsible for that decision or just responsible for that development, but really I would take it out on anyone, whoever's close by. If I found out I missed out on $2 million,
I still think you give them a piece in good faith. No? I mean,
I like it. I would want that.
You know what? You didn't get, all the way there, but how about $500,000? We appreciate what you did.
$1 million?
What do they care?
Well,
you
and
just said they're capped.
Yeah, they're capped fine.
I agree with you. I would love to see them do that. I would love to see them say, like, I'm sorry, we weren't aware of the snaps, which I think they are. I think they always are. I want to be clear. I think they're always aware of it. But if they said, like, oh, it just sort of fell through the cracks in good faith, here is a portion of the money. However, doesn't that open the door? Doesn't that open Pandora's box for every other guy who comes up just shy of their incentives to then also go, please, sir, Oliver Twist their way, to the front office and be like, well, what? You did it for Sean Ryan.
Yeah.
But Sean Ryan also, it seemed like they wanted to get the rookie last year and Jordan Morgan some snaps, so he was in a rotation, even though it seemed like Sean Ryan was clearly the better player.
But I told you about Harry Sidney, right?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Harry Sidney back in the day?
Running back.
Harry's fine, but Harry's Harry. Harry's just Harry, right? So he had an
incentive in his
contract for amount of catches, and he was at like 48. And we're in the last game. And he's like, Brett, I'll be in the flat. Just throw it to me. Everyone knew we had this bonus. So he'd say that to Brett, and then Brett would get a little farther up to the line, and they'd be like, don't throw it to Harry. We don't want him to get the bonus. So, yes, it
Did
does
Harry
go
get
both
the
ways.
bonus?
No, he didn't.
No. He's told that story before.
Yeah.
I looked up Harry Sidney's stats that year.
He did. We called him Harry 2 rings because he always let you knew he had 2 rings. And we didn't have any at the time, so we're like, shut up, Harry. Okay.
Gabe, do you have a thought on which direction the Packers, would you like to see them in good faith give him something for coming so close?
Because they put him in a rotation last year, again, just so Jordan Morgan could get some snaps. Like, hey, we appreciate you helping out the rookie, helping bring him along. Here's a little extra something. Because, again, his contract over the 4 years, being a non-first-round pick, is only worth a little over $5 million over the course of the 4 years. Like, this year, he's getting $1.3 million as his base.
Yeah.
Give him a little something, because it means something more to him versus, at this point, if Rashawn Gary, who's got one of the bigger contracts on the team, right? Like, the $1 million means a little more to Sean Ryan than it does to Rashawn.
And that's 2 victory snaps. That's all it is.
Right. So there is another layer to this, according to ESPN.com. Depending on the stats that you looked at, Ryan's agent actually thought they had hit the number. They had hit the bottom line. It's a 35% snap count. According to Pro Football Reference's snap counts, which are unofficial and not used by the league, Ryan would have qualified. It said he had played 1,146 of a possible 3,272, equaling 35.003. So his agent had them at 35%. Can you imagine sitting in the office being like, hot damn, we hit that incentive, and then finding out that, oh no, the NFL had used a different calculator and that they had fallen just shy of it.
They probably didn't account for penalties, because I don't think penalties is considered a play.
Correct. But the NFL would factor that in?
The agent probably factored it in. The NFL probably took it out.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I understand what you're
saying.
saying.
If he
I'm trying to make the math
there
work.
was, 17 penalties when he played. You thought you had this, but those plays don't count, so...
That's why you got to run through the finish line.
Yeah.
You can't just stop at the finish line. The other thing that this article says, guys, is the NFL and the Packers could not just give Ryan the raise, even if they wanted to. They would have to extend his contract in order to change the pay, which would also have salary cap implications and could impact future extensions should they decide to retain him behind this season. So I guess you just chalk this up to unlucky.
Well, I can tell you this, and he's not good enough to do... Well, I'm not going to go there, but... They screwed me out of $30,000. Well, that was kind of...
Do you want to get your story straight before you spit it out?
I was hurt on IR. They claimed that I didn't tell them the injury. They knew I had the injury, so they said, you didn't really disclose because my back.
Yeah.
I went to the combine, x-rays of the back and all this stuff. So they said, okay, because... And they had all the leverage. They said... we're going to knock your base down by 30,000 because I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm holding out.
You're a sixth-round pick.
So that next contract that came around, I said, remember that 30,000 you screwed me out of? Let's tack that on. And I got it back.
Yeah. Since I have sat in negotiation meetings with you,
Yeah.
I feel like I know how that went down.
Yeah.
I think it was
That
uncomfortable.
was fun. You guys have a story now. That's what I tell Ann.
You can't tell anyone that story.
Like when I smash my truck, there's a story.
You think I'm walking around telling people your story?
Although I do tell people your stories. There are other ones that I'm like,
not that
listen to this. We got to get to Adam Schefter. He's next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Stick around.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound 41 backing up just south of Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound slowing down just before Mayfair Road all the way up past Capitol as well. Northbound 43 seen delays from just before Fond du Lac Avenue up towards Keefe. Southbound's got a little bit of a backup heading into Capitol Drive and then again right past Fond du Lac Avenue. Eastbound 94, you're seeing delays from just before 76th Street all the way to Hawley Road and then again coming out of the Stadium interchange towards 35th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, morning patchy fog, partly cloudy otherwise, isolated afternoon showers inland, a high of 67 at the lake, 77 inland. Tonight, areas of fog, it'll be mild with a low of 50. Weather is brought to you by Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America. The Spring Vintage Weekend Series is coming up May 16th through the 18th. Get your tickets today and check out the full season schedule at roadamerica.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Island Resort and Casino's stay and play golf packages for 2025 are filling up fast. Take advantage of early season package rates through May 23rd. A favorite among golfers, Island's Drift Spa. Enjoy therapeutic or targeted massage, float therapy for deep relaxation, or new red light therapy to enhance muscle recovery. Book your Island Resort and Casino stay and play golf package today. Complete details online at islandresortgolf.com.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
It's happened again. Another local organization switching to business technology from James Imaging Systems. This time, it's St. Anne Center for Intergenerational Care. CFO Sally Parente.
We were unhappy with our previous vendor. It was always a big production. We also had some issues with pricing.
And now with James Imaging Systems,
The service, the value, and the ease with which we can just keep using their service and not having any big headaches. We're getting value here as well.
just what you'd expect from James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed company. AI-driven workflow
How you
automation,
doing?
security enhancements, and digital
Doing
transformation.
great. Thank you very
I
much.
love that they're a local company. They've been a wonderful business partner for
problem.
St.
Thank you.
Anne
Appreciate
Center.
it.
Make the switch to James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Everyone's go-to source for all NFL news.
And we're going to get right to some breaking news here that just came down. This tweet from Adam Schefter.
Adam's on the phone. Adam, you got more news? What do you got?
They're going with another move. And he was the man who knows all, Adam Schefter.
It's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
It's always hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. It just is. I wouldn't be surprised if they meet again, and I wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay is in that game and Green Bay has a chance to win that game.
Adam Schefter on JGC is sponsored by Island Resort and Casino. Gaming, casual, and fine dining. 2 golf courses, a luxury spa, and live entertainment. Your total experience is at the Island.
It is that time. It is Adam Schefter time. Good morning, Adam. How you doing today?
Hello, everybody. How we doing?
We're good. We're good. We were just talking about Sean Ryan, offensive lineman for the Green Bay Packers, who missed out on an incentive in his contract worth $2 million by 2 snaps. How often does this happen around the league?
Well, every year in the last week of the season, we always do a segment on ESPN Sunday Countdown called Straight Cash Homie, and we try to focus in on some of those incentives that are out there that are attainable that day. Now, I would say this, very rarely do you find that a player fell, 2 plays short of something like that. I mean, that's unusual. And in a case like that, I'm not putting pressure on the Packers, especially being that it's a community-owned team, but usually, and I'd be curious to know Chewy's thoughts on this, a team will just say, okay, you came up 2 plays short, we're gonna give you the money here. How much money was it?
$2 million.
Yeah, so this is also one of those situations, Adam, where it's the playtime incentive for the non-first round pick.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, the Packers, because that's collectively bargained as part of those rookie deals, the Packers couldn't just go, hey, here's a little something for the effort.
Little Italian handshake, if you will.
Yeah, I thought out of good faith, Adam.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe $500,000 or something like that. I mean, that's a drop in the bucket to them, but I guess because of the salary. Can they do it another way? Like,
Under the table?
Here's a Lamborghini for $3.
No, there's no other way. You either do it or you don't. And I mean, you could say, okay, here's $500. It goes against your cap, and you're not $500. There's a lot of ways to do it. I honestly think that in a case like that, if I were running a team, I would give the guy something.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, sounds like the Bengals and Hendrickson are
There it
headed
is.
for what? Divorce? Doesn't
No.
sound pretty.
No. But again, let me say this. How many times have we heard at this time of the year a player saying, I'm done with this team, I'm not playing for them, I want to be traded, and then all of a sudden, lo and behold, that contract extension comes around. Now, the interesting part here is that this has been going on for the better part of 2 years. And Trey Hendrickson pointed out this week that he got a letter from Zach Taylor saying that if he's not at the mandatory minicamp in 30 days, he'll be fined, which he took to mean we're not getting your contract done before there. You better be there, which he didn't like. He didn't like the fact that they told him, come in last year, play well, and we'll take care of it. He did that. He led the NFL in sacks. And while he led the NFL in sacks and headed into the offseason, he since has seen two players who had multiple years left on their contracts in Max Crosby and Myles Garrett turn into, at that point when they signed their deals, the highest paid defensive players in NFL history. Well, he's still sitting there scheduled to make $15.8 million. So there's a lot of things that rub him the wrong way here. And, I think the Bengals want to keep him, but it has not been evident in the way that they've conducted their business with him per him.
Adam, you had the report yesterday that you put on Twitter about Jaden Reed and his representatives meeting with Brian Gutekunst, just kind of getting an assurance. Do you know who initiated that meeting? Was it Reed's side or was it the Packers?
Here's the thing. He changed agents, and I think that was lost on people, okay? So I think it's one of these things where a new agent comes in, and he's just trying to get a feel for his new client, and they're coming off a draft in which they drafted a couple and so the new agent just checks in, and he's told, this is where it's really not a big deal. I was surprised that it got as much attention as it did. I just think it's, I don't think it's a headline that somebody changes agents, and I try not to make that a headline. But I think that's what it is. Just like if any one of you had new representation, they might call the boss of the station and say, hey, just want to let you know, I'm representing Chewy right now. Looking forward to working together. Saw you drafted 2 radio hosts here in the most recent draft. Any issue? No issue. We love your guy. We want him back. Well, I think it's like that.
I think, Adam, the distinction was this assurance or this purported assurance that Reed has a status as the top receiver. When you draft a guy in Matthew Golden.
I think that's semantics and words, okay? I don't think they said, you're our top receiver. I think that they had the conversation. Chewy's agent just called it, hey, we love Chewy. He's our guy at the station. Oh, okay. Now Chewy's the top down. Now you are Chewy, okay? No disrespect to Gabe, right?
Thank you,
but you know what I'm trying to say here, right? It's word salad. It doesn't mean anything. People are reading way too much into it.
But what made this inflammatory, Adam, is, that report came out where Rosenhaus supposedly said, Goody says you're our number one receiver. But then Stenavich goes and says, oh, we're going to have competition at the right tackle spot, where Zach Tom has been a mainstay there and is due a deal next. He's a free agent after next. It just that's what blew the whole thing up.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I was just dealing with this element of it. I speak to the Zach Tom, Adam Stenavich part of this. Okay, that's you. I'm just telling you. I think it's one of these things that's gotten more attention than it should have. Right. I just think it's a case of a new agent coming in, checking in. Hey, we love your guy. He's our top guy. Whatever it was said. I don't think you saw it. You're the number one receiver. Was that the phrase that was used? I don't know. Top receiver, I think, was the phrase. Whatever.
But you see, Adam, you see how this can fracture a locker room where Zach Tom is going to be paid penny stool money, and he's like, "What? You said this guy in his second year is the man, and all of a sudden I'm competing for my job at right tackle? What the hell is going on here?" That. I don't know.
Well, Adam,
it's very
fair
bizarre.
or unfair, the perception was that somehow the Green Bay Packers had given Jaden Reed bona fide number one wide receiver status based on this conversation with Drew Rosenhaus. And to Chewy's point, the question was, right, but they force competition at every other spot. Why would there be a, what did we call it yesterday, de facto wide receiver one headed into the offseason when you did go out and draft 2 more pass catchers that you think could compete?
Again,
at least one of them in Matthew Golden.
I think people are reading into this too much. That's what I think. I think it's a case of a new agent coming in, checking in on his client, getting the assurances that he wants, telling people, oh, you're the top, whatever was said. Okay, it doesn't really matter. It's just an agent representing his new guy, checking in after they draft 2 receivers. We still love you. This isn't a reflection of you. You're our top guy. Whatever it was that was said. Let's not make too much of it. It's really, I think too much already has been made of it. That's my own opinion. People can continue to make of it if they want. I just think it's one of those conversations that occurs when you have a new agent. That's the big takeaway.
Adam, are you hearing anything Romeo Dobbs to the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No, not heard that at all. Have you heard that?
Well, I mean, there's been reports, and didn't Rodgers say, hey, he's my guy?
Well, that was one of the reports that supposedly Rodgers really liked Dobbs, even though we know better than that because they did not get along in his rookie year in Rodgers' last year in Green Bay.
And Dobbs
I've heard that. Listen, I'm not telling you that it can't happen. I just haven't. I don't know anything about that.
Do you like drama, Adam? I love drama. I think it's so awesome.
I think Adam is picking up on that, honestly.
They used to call me the pot stirrer.
Drama is how sports talk radio and sports on TV. That's how those shows stay in business. Drama.
I'm in the perfect line of work then.
Because you like to stir the pot.
I love stirring the pot, even when I played. I was a pot stirrer.
By the way, did the hats ever arrive?
The what?
The hats I sent you guys, they ever arrive?
Joshy?
Yeah, look in that box.
Oh.
What box?
Got a box right here.
Box?
Mm-hmm.
Is this our hats?
Maybe.
I'm glad I asked.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Oh.
By the way, I didn't even know the box was right there.
Joshy.
Snuck it in.
You old codger, you. Hope everyone likes their new hat. Thank you for all your great work. Adam Schefter. Well,
does Adam write it like a doctor? Oh, you had a problem reading
that.
I thought it was ACC.
Looks like he kidnapped.
Hold on, I got hats here.
Is that a ransom note? I have, Jen.
Oh, this is fantastic. I forgot my hat today. I said it as soon as I walked in the studio. Look at how beautiful these are. All right,
Nice.
showing it to the YouTube fam.
beautiful.
YouTube fam. All right, here you go, Chew.
Thank you.
Little Masters hat for you. Little Masters hat for you. And now I can put a hat on.
There we go.
This worked out
By the way, that
perfectly.
wasn't even set up on cue. But I was just like, I never heard anything. And then the box happened to be sitting next to you. That was very weird.
Well, that's when you have a top-tier producer, Adam. That's what that is.
Yeah,
That's
I guess so.
Joshy.
These are great.
These are luscious.
You made a wise choice, Adam. These are fantastic.
Sure, you couldn't take your hat off?
Or his
Chewy.
headphones. Had to put it over the
Chewy.
top of the headphones.
He forgot he had
There you go.
headphones on. No,
there you go.
There we go.
Like a glove.
Oh,
we go.
this is great. I feel so official now. Adam, thank you so much for this. This was very, very kind
Well,
of you.
since this is from the previous major championship, Adam.
Oh, here we go.
We've got the PGA coming up this week. It's a 2-horse race, right? Like you either got to take Rory or taking Bryson, right?
Yeah. You know what? How about John Rahm or Tyrrell Hatton?
Okay, you could talk me into Tyrrell, but like John Rahm has not played well in a major
What about
in
Scotty?
quite some time.
Scotty?
Scotty's going to finish top 5. I don't think Scotty's going to win.
Scotty hasn't played here before.
Yeah,
Not that that's hindrance for somebody as great as he, right? But Schauffele's starting to come on a little bit. He's showing some signs of life. But I agree. Like it certainly feels like Rory and Bryson. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
Well, especially with all the rain they've got, like, you have to hit it long. Like it's going to be a long golf course anyway. But now with basically no rollout because of all the rain that they got, you got it. It's all carry, and those are the two best drivers. And I think we get Rory Bryson part 3. That's what I'm hoping for.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, right. Sign you up. Sign you up for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Come Saturday, Sunday, and watch that.
Fantastic. The Masters is fantastic, and we'll take more of that, right?
Should we be rooting for this Hatton fella just,
No.
because of the hats?
He's the biggest baby in golf. I can't stand him. He drives me. Am I right?
Chewy's not wrong. He has not said a wrong word yet.
He drives me crazy. He's like that receiver He's like that receiver that wants a flag on every single play. Drives me crazy.
He's quite animated. He's quite animated on the golf course. Quite animated.
And nothing's ever been his fault. It's like an NBA player who's never committed a foul before in his life. What are you talking about?
Buddy.
That's not a foul.
You know what's interesting about that with Tyrrell Hatton? Me and Tyrrell Hatton have a lot in common in our golf game. Nothing is ever our fault. It's amazing. We're both snaking it.
Again, feels like we should be rooting for him, but Chewy has already vetoed it, so I guess we'll move on. Adam, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Really appreciate the clarification on the Jaden Reed story and these incredible hats from the Masters. Too kind of you. Thank you so much. And Joshy, bravo on
Way
the
to
setup.
go.
That was perfect.
You're welcome.
Had the little box over here. Didn't even know it because, I'm oblivious to things. It's pretty standard around here.
It might have been sitting there for a couple of weeks, Jen.
It's distinctly
But
possible, sir.
we'll leave boxes like good. I mean, there could be security threats boxes sitting there. You wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't even know, right? Like, what do we got going on here? Adam, have a great one. We'll talk to you again soon.
Take care, guys. Have a great week.
That's Adam Schefter. Love having him on the show, Gabe.
Our conversations with Adam Schefter every week brought to you by the Island Resort and Casino. It's a premier resort destination, the largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location. Visit islandresortandcasino.com and book your total experience today.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards. They're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel. It's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks. And enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Truck drivers, are you tired of an outdated truck hurting your paychecks? At Schneider, we add new trucks to our fleet every year to keep drivers moving and racking up the miles. Our easy-to-use technology is designed to keep you safe and comfortable while also boosting your income potential. So, are you ready to get behind the wheel of a more reliable ride? Find jobs near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Who's looking for a better deal? Well, Cousin Sub's $10 meal deals just got better. Available online only. Order your 7.5-inch meal deal today and upgrade it with a large fountain beverage, large fry, regular shake, or regular Wisconsin cheese curds. Prices vary by item from $1 to $2 a piece. Make it better and make it your own way. Now that's a better deal. For further details or to order, go to cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available online at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's your pal Donald Driver here. For 10 years, I've been working with the Wisconsin DOT to get everyone to wear their seatbelt. And it's working. Nearly 90% of Wisconsin drivers buckle up, which makes me want to say to the ones who don't, come on, man. If you don't wear your seatbelt, you're going nowhere fast. Buckle up. If you don't, it can cost you money or a lot worse. Click it or ticket, and let's work together to save lives. Take my driving safety quiz at zeroinwisconsin.gov.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I don't know which is which, but here's what I do.
Yes, all right.
I take the plus and I put it to the plus. I take the minus and I put it to the minus.
Yeah, but the jacker things don't have the...
Yeah, they do.
Where?
Sure do. On the handles.
What's a jacker thing? Is it something that your wife keeps in the drawer?
He meant jumper cables.
On 94.5 ESPN.
release day in the NFL. So by tonight, we will know the whens and not just the whos of who the Packers will face and when they will face them in the 2025 season. But as is, typical this time of year, things start to trickle out. Things start to drip out. And it sounds like there is some information dripping out. Gabe, what is the latest for the Green Bay Packers?
Jordan Schultz reporting that the Packers are going to be opening the season at home against NFC North rival Jared Goff and the Lions Sunday, September 7th at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time.
First time the Packers have opened at home since 2018.
Yeah. That's
Matt
what I saw.
LaFleur has never started a season at home.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I would rather open on the road, I think, and then save the home games for down the road.
I would rather not play a division rival in the first game of the season.
Especially a good one.
Well, yes. Especially because obviously these games matter so much. That isn't obvious, but also you're sort of still getting your feet underneath you, aren't you? As they continue to shrink the preseason and as the starters play less and less during those games, I don't know, are you still sort of, and maybe it goes both ways. Maybe the argument is, well, yeah, but they're doing the same thing. The Lions would be doing the same thing.
Yeah, the Lions are doing the same thing, and they have a new offensive and defensive coordinator that they've got to sort through throughout the course of the offseason, so maybe catching them early. Look, that's just the way it is. NFL wants marquee matchups in this opening week, and a lot of times those marquee matchups are going to be divisional games. So we have to open up the season.
You want layups. The reason you want layups is because when you're playing Detroit first game of the year, who's, a top 5 power ranked team, they're going to be completely healthy. Maybe if you play them for the first time week 7, they're going to have a few guys that are missing. Both teams will be at full strength. But yeah, I would have much rather be playing the Bears or someone like that, little layup game, or McCarthy, because it's going to be his first start as an NFL quarterback.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys.
No, he got fired. He'll be in Door County.
So, how do you think that shakes out, Gabe? You feel confident the Packers can walk away from week 1 with a win over the Lions?
No.
What do you think the line will be?
Be tight.
3.
3?
Maybe a little less.
3 Detroit?
No. Packers by a point,
the
point
home
and a
team.
half.
Okay.
Which means that you think the Lions are the better team because they'll get, don't you usually say 3 to the home team?
Yeah, typically if they're equal, then it's 3. My guess is the Packers will still be favored, but it might just slide to point and a half, 2
Hutchinson be
points.
100%?
Yeah, he should be. Should be by that point.
Okay.
Hopefully that offensive line competition goes well. Get some really good ones coming out of it.
I mean, that's a lot of prognostication. We have no idea. He might not be playing for the first 3 weeks. Like that's certainly in the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, but when was
play in
the
the
injury?
playoffs.
Yeah, there was, it feels like.
Well, no, he wasn't going to play in the playoffs.
No,
that
that's
was
not what they
Chewy
said.
saying that. That was not reporting. He was
the hell?
He had a clubbed foot at that point. He wasn't able to lift his toes. I mean, I've seen the videos of him, but how are they going to bring? Let me tell you, if I had Aiden Hutchinson, I'd be extra careful, especially with the team that I hope to be a Super Bowl winner. He's not going a minute earlier than I think he should.
I'm just looking up Aiden Hutchinson timetable. 4 to 6 months following the fractured tibia, fibula. And when would that be?
That would have been from
That
October.
would have placed his earliest potential return at the Super Bowl. However, given the nature of
he'll
the
be
injury, on track to return Super Bowl. I mean, this is from last year, guys. So it says he's begun the off-season workouts. Aiden Hutchinson spotted at the facility. That doesn't really tell us anything. All right, well, listen. The game's not going to come down to whether or not Aiden Hutchinson plays, since he didn't play. Since he didn't play last year, and the Lions still got the best of the Packers.
Still could come down to that.
I
All
do
of a sudden, Aiden Hutchinson gets loose, gets a sack under 2 minutes left. Yeah,
I do think that there is value in looking at those offensive and defensive coordinators. First run out there.
Yeah.
We always talk about the impact that has on a franchise, on a team. All right, so that was just announced by Jordan Schultz. Again, as the day goes on, you will likely see more and more. And the way that this works, of course, is they don't even have to be Packers leaks. But as other schedules get released, it happens to be against the Packers, and you start to fill in the gaps. So it sounds like we know 3 games now for the upcoming Green Bay Packers season, and I'm sure there will be more as the day shakes out. Man, what do you guys want to talk about? Feels like we've covered a lot of good stuff already in the first hour. Got yelled at by Adam
line
Schefter.
Is going to be a possible problem.
Is the lottery rigged?
Yes.
Why? What happened?
Game's like moving on.
Yeah, I mean, this has been true in the NBA for years.
The NBA lottery.
Oh, I thought you were saying like megabucks.
It'd be so nice to just live in your own world like Chewy manages to. He's just out there floating.
That's 2 shots I let him get away with today.
Well,
okay?
but he's wearing he's wearing the company hat.
He's sporting the colors. But how many do I give him?
That's up to you.
I think half a dozen.
No.
No.
He's behind pace.
No.
He's got 4 more to come in hour number 3.
You get 3 total? You better use that last one wisely, Joshy.
Wait, what was the first pop?
I don't know. I think he just assumed.
No.
Was that a third?
Was that when you put the hat on top of the headphones?
Yes, that was it.
Wow, I mean, you looked ridiculous.
It's not on him.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Slow ride along southbound 41, pretty much from Appleton Avenue, solid all the way down past Capitol Drive. The northbound side's heavy from just north of Watertown Plank Road all the way up past Capitol. Southbound 43 is backed up from Silver Spring down past Burleigh. Northbound slowing from the Marquette up to Keefe. Westbound 94 riders, watch for delays from the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Back on the brakes from Highway 100 all the way to the county line, and then again from Moreland past Calhoun. Eastbound's got some pockets of heavy traffic heading past Highway F and then coming out of the Barker Road area, and again from 84th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. And check the TMJ4 Storm King forecast today. Morning patchy fog, then partly cloudy skies. An isolated afternoon shower inland, a high of 67 at the lake, 77 inland. Tonight, areas of fog, mild with a low of 50. Weather is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof, siding, and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Island Resort and Casino's stay and play golf packages for 2025 are filling up fast. Take advantage of early season package rates through May 23rd. A favorite among golfers, Island's Drift Spa. Enjoy therapeutic or targeted massage, float therapy for deep relaxation, or new red light therapy to enhance muscle recovery. Book your Island Resort and Casino stay and play golf package today. Complete details online at islandresortgolf.com.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
This is the extent of my money. I have a credit card. Yep. And I have one of those cards where you can get money out of the ATM. Okay. That's it. I don't know how anything else works.
It's a debit card.
Well, I'll tell you. A nice greeting card can really lift a person's spirits.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, Jack.
Yeah, she puts $10 in every card for my birthday. That's why I say.
No, it's not a debit card because can't you like use it at the grocery store and stuff like that?
Yeah, the debit card is
still a debit card.
Yeah. Debit card has...
No, I don't. I've never used it as that. No, I've never used it. The only thing I use that card for is to go to the ATM and carry cash.
There's a check in all these? Why don't you cash them?
I don't know. It's $10.
But you got a whole pile here. Look at it. 1987?
Oh, so what?
Are you
Hold on, what do
aware?
you use a debit card for? So you can go Just let me ask you this.
Yep.
You can go and use that like a credit card at the store?
Absolutely. Yeah, and it just
then
takes.
What the hell do you need a credit card for?
Oh, this is tantamount to a slap in the face.
Oh, get out of here.
Jerry, a gift not enjoyed is like a flower that doesn't blossom.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
They say one man's trash is another man's treasure. They say that you can take advantage of others' misfortunes. They say there has been no communication between Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals. Actually, it's not they who said that. It was Trey Hendrickson who said that. He said there's been no communication. There's been no progress towards reaching mutual goals. And the reason we bring this up is, of course, because the Packers could still really use a productive edge guy. They could use a guy who gets, what did he have, 17 and a half? Was that the number I've been seeing everywhere?
Yeah, it was a decent season.
17 and a half sacks. Trey Hendrickson wants to get paid what he has done, what he is worth. And it doesn't feel like the Cincinnati Bengals are interested in paying him what he wants to be paid. So yesterday, I'm sure you saw it on social media, he stepped in front of some microphones, told his side of the story. Sounds like he's really upset about the way this has been handled. He said it's personal, talked about shark attacks. Can the Packers somehow take advantage of this? If you're Brian Gutekunst, Chewy, have you or have you not made a call to the Cincinnati Bengals to see if there's a trade package you can put together that would get Trey Hendrickson in green and gold?
I would say no.
You would not call?
I would call, but Goody won't. I mean, he's 30, and you'd have to give him a new contract, and you'd have to give up draft capital, and that is just not in Goody's wheelhouse. But listening to Adam, he doesn't sound like he's going to get traded anyways. And it does happen, you know. Didn't it happen with Justin Jefferson, where he said if Cousins leaves here, I'm leaving too, and then he signs his deal
got the
and
biggest wide receiver contract in NFL history.
But do you think that's what the Bengals are going to do with Trey Hendrickson?
No, I don't think they're going to give him a contract. See, that's the interesting thing here to me is, does Trey Hendrickson believe he deserves a contract on the level of Max Crosby?
No, he said he doesn't
Garrett?
want that. He says he doesn't need to be the highest paid, but he needs to be paid fairly.
Yeah. Because again, he's a little bit older than those guys. He is 30 years old. What's fair? Third highest guy, third highest pass rusher, top 5 money.
I mean, he's not a one-hit wonder.
No, he's done it back-to-back seasons now, where he's had those 17
pretty
sacks.
Damn good.
Fourth consecutive Pro Bowl season.
Yeah. The problem with this is there's trickle downs. There's trickle downs.
What's the trickle down?
Elton Jenkins.
Well, that's already going on.
No, I know it is, but he looks at that and these guys, once they get to a number, they're like, hey, I got to get paid quickly because I'm going to be done with this soon. And I know what Elton Jenkins thinking. He's like, sure, I'll move to center, but I want to be taken care of. So the fact that he is not going to be part of the offseason workout concerns me, because to me it sounds like, all right, ooh, my arm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you do? Clearly, the guy who gets cold.
Jacob Monk.
Jacob Monk. You know what we'd be great at? You know where they have the one guy's got his back turned to the board? We would dominate that game. Am I right?
But the pyramid game?
Yeah.
The guy who gets cold.
And he was like that.
Yeah.
So
he has an allergy to cold water.
Thank you for the housekeeping.
Yeah, but I'm
Sashi.
only limited.
It's right there.
I'm limited to so many words. I can't use all those. So
cold water allergy.
So, yes.
Nah.
So
guy who gets cold.
So he's clearly not ready to play, because Goody would say, well, there's going to be competition at center. And then you mix in the Zach Tom drama, who should be getting an extension. I'm a little concerned.
So you're saying there's no reason to be even having this conversation because it's not something the Packers will do because of his age and because of what the implications might be in the locker room.
Do you guys think they'll do it?
Gabe?
I don't.
Not do it. Do you think they should kick the tires on it?
Yeah,
Do you
I
think
think
Goody should make a call and see, hey, it sounds like things aren't going real well over there. What would it take to get him in Green Bay?
See what the price would be, A, for the compensation, and see if you can backdoor some sort of conversation to find out what would make him happy for a contract extension.
Goody doesn't kick tires, or he would have kicked the tires on Devontae Adams. He never even called.
Yeah.
So I
And
don't see
the other
him doing
element
it.
of that is that he trusts his draft picks implicitly.
Yes.
And they did address, at least later in the draft, they did address it, right? They think they did.
Who do you think has more sacks this year, Baron Sorrell or...
Okay, that's not a
Trey
fair
Hendrickson?
question. Well, Trey Hendrickson might not see the field. Okay?
Factor that into the bet.
Digs his heels in the way that it
into the bet.
sounds.
But yeah, you addressed it potentially for the future. And those fourth-round guys, again, we've seen the Packers have success with guys who were drafted later at that position. Aaron Campman was a fourth-round pick, but it took him 3 or 4 years before he became, Aaron Campman, who's got double-digit sacks and is one of the better guys at rushing the passer in the league. Same thing with KGB.
Mm-hmm.
It took him a while to develop. So I would expect the same for him, and I'm not expecting Sorrell to be more than a rotational piece in 2025. When Goody thought that they were close in 14, or excuse me, when Ted Thompson thought they were close in 14, he went out and got Julius Peppers.
Yes.
And Peppers was a little bit older, but still had an impact certainly on that team. I'm curious to see if Goody does that when he believes the team is close and maybe that veteran piece is the one that's away.
But
that they're
Peppers
close to.
was he just a free agent?
He was just a free agent.
So they didn't have to give up draft capital to go get him. The double whammy is just not his MO, right? I mean, it'd be nice. But based upon what he said in the offseason about the defensive line, how he still has confidence in
He
them.
said the same thing about the wide receiver room and then took 2 in the first 3 rounds.
He's a liar.
At what point does the situation at that position in Green Bay become untenable? On SI.com, Bill Huber wrote an article, and this stood out to me. Hendrickson has only 9 fewer pressures than Gary, Engabare, and Van Ness combined. Hendrickson alone has only 9 fewer quarterback pressures than those 3 Packers players combined. At some point, it feels like this guy could be a game changer. And Chewy, you're right. You would have to break tradition. You'd have to go outside your comfort zone in order to bring a guy like that in. But couldn't he be the guy that you've been hoping for on the line, Gabe?
That's why I'm curious to see if Goody does anything when he thinks this team's actually close to winning a Super Bowl. When it seems like they're on the doorstep. Because right now, it doesn't seem like they're necessarily there. They're a competitive team. They're a good team. But they've been the 7th seed the last 2 years and unceremoniously were bounced in the first round. Granted, by the champs. But if, they're a team like the Lions were 2 years ago when they made it to the NFC Championship game and looked like they were close. Okay, does he then sprinkle in the veterans at that point? Like, does he ever change the way he's building this? Or is that just the way it's going to be? Because, again, Ted Thompson broke every once in a while and would sprinkle in that veteran piece.
I wonder if he's waiting for teams to get out of the way. And what I mean by that is like, okay, San Francisco, why they have them? Well, they don't, because we just did the power rankings. San Francisco...
That's what we did yesterday.
Okay.
Hey,
that was fair. That was fair.
At least it didn't come from Joshy because he would have used up his last one.
Joshy shot his wad. So San Francisco's kind of out of the way, right? They're in a retool. So will Detroit and Philly lost some players?
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. So are they in a retool? So he's like, okay, maybe if I wait one more year and then get after it and then make a move like that, these teams will be depleted, but the problem is you got like Washington, right? Washington, who's got a hell of a quarterback up and coming. Who knows what happens with Minnesota? I wonder if that creeps into his head at all. Because we kind of had to wait till Dallas kind of got out, because Dallas was so good.
I hear what you're saying, and it makes sense from a macro standpoint.
Yeah.
But man, Chew, I got to think that like they are so tunnel vision focused on building their roster and what's going on inside their building. I think peripherally, you can kind of keep an eye on the trajectory of all of the teams in the NFC, but I feel like that would bog you down really quick.
Yeah,
because to your
I agree.
point, how devastating is it that you're going, oh, this team's taking a step back, San Fran, but this team's taking a step forward, and like, I don't know that you could ever make decisions based on the landscape of the league.
Yeah,
but I mean, we've seen again Ron Wolf after Randy Moss came in, first 3 picks the following draft, all cornerbacks, right? So I mean, we've seen Packers general managers react to the environment around them. Granted, that's a little different, I would say, than San Francisco because Minnesota's directly in your division. You had to see Randy Moss twice a year, and you saw, okay, if we want to compete in this division, we want to compete with that team, we got to slow that guy down. So that's a little bit different, and it's kind of directly going after that instead of going, okay, can I time my, when we have our peak right?
Because I don't think this offense is going to be the same type of offense in 3 years from now if they continue to have success. Because what he's doing is like, hey, we kind of have to run the ball right now because our receivers are meh. Let these guys develop, become studs. Josh Jacobs will be gone by then. And then we'll just plug in a good back, and then we'll throw the ball because we'll have 3 or 4 legit receivers.
Good tight end.
I don't see them do it. You see them doing this 3 years from now? Well, let's grind it out.
Because they pivoted part of the way through last year.
Yeah, because they had to.
A, because partially because of the injury to Jordan. B, because of the receivers. And C, Josh Jacobs is just that good. But yeah, 3 years from now, I can't imagine that they're going to be a team that's running the ball more than 50% of the time.
I agree.
Chewy, are you aware of what the numbers are for Hendrickson? This past year, $15.8 million base salary. So I actually feel bad for the guy. I actually feel bad for him because every other guy who has performed at that level, their teams went, we want to keep you. You're very valuable. You're important to our success. Here's a contract extension. The numbers, Garrett signed a contract extension, $40 million. Hunter signed an extension, $35.6 million. We talked about Crosby already at $35.5 million. And I love the line that he said about, like, I'm not going to apologize for the going rate for a good guy at my position. I can't apologize for that. Why should I have to?
You're dealing with Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Mike Brown's tighter than 2 coats of paint.
And I would feel for T. Higgins as well, who took a below-market deal, presumably, because now we can retain some of these guys like Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're not winning anything. Well, they'll win games, but without him, because even the DN that they drafted in the first round is sitting out till he gets a deal.
Should he sit out, Chew?
Yeah. Absolutely. I would have never said that 20 years ago because it just wasn't in our makeup back then. But now, yeah, absolutely.
It's 2025. When somebody from the organization's sending you a letter.
Yeah, that's...
Like, and he said, hey, this is personal now. Yeah, like that's, okay, I've got a phone, I've got email, you can't text, you can't call.
Yeah, but Mike Brown is like old school.
Sure, but
is he dictating Zach Taylor's behavior?
Of course he is. Yes, that comes from the top.
Yeah.
Hey, coach, send this guy a letter to remind him that he gets fined if he's not here for the mandatory part of off-season.
Well, but the other thing I'll tell you is if he does sit out, no less wear on the tires.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could sit there and go, he's 31, but he's a young 31.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the way Goody thinks.
And I said, you remember I said this years ago? When
you
these owners started doing that?
When you took out the city of Cincinnati?
No, when I said players are going to start going, my hamstring's killing me to get paid. So my guess is there'll be some type of mysterious injury where they can't do anything and they got to pay him.
Yeah.
Which is,
we saw T.J. Watt do this a couple of years ago before he got his contract with the Steelers.
Yeah.
It wasn't a holdout. He showed up, he reported, because if you don't report, that's when the fines can come. That can't be rescinded.
Mm-hmm.
You show up, and suddenly there's an injury that's keeping you out of practice, keeping you out of getting ready for the season.
Mm-hmm.
For your next night out, revel in the fusion and artistry and flavor with Sushi at St. Kate. It offers guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate, the Arts Hotel, introduces the addition of an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate. Learn more at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound 41 41, backing up from just south of Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound side still heavy from Watertown Plank Road all the way up past Capitol as well. Eastbound 94, watch for delays from 84th Street all the way to 35th. Westbound heavy from the Marquette to about Mitchell Boulevard, back on the brakes right through the Zoo interchange to the county line. Traffic is brought to you by Third Ward Beer Garden. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden, open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, morning patchy fog, partly cloudy skies otherwise. Isolated afternoon showers inland with a high of 67 at the lake, 77 inland. Tonight, areas of fog, mild with a low of 50. Weather is brought to you by IKEA. Spring into savings at IKEA Oak Creek during their annual sidewalk sale, May 9th through the 26th. New deals added often, plus exclusive Friday mystery deals on May 16th and 23rd for IKEA family members. IKEA Oak Creek. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Carbless ready-to-drink cocktails are here for your flawless summer. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Drinking Carbless and watching the crew is already a win, but now that combination is about to get a whole lot better. Carbless is offering you a sweet night at the ballpark. Your chance to win 14 tickets with food and drinks included to the July 26th game is just one shopping trip away. From now until the end of May, head to your local retailer and scan the QR code to register for your chance to win this amazing prize. A flawless summer night at the ballpark awaits.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves. Are you talking about the One collection? Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart. The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment. The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's. To find the Kessler's nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at Club Paragon Greenfield, Deer Camp, Milwaukee, Kelly's Bleachers Big Bend, New Berlin Ale House, and Stenny's Milwaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Gabe, it'll change your life. Any barbecue you eat for the rest of your life will be measured against Buc-ee's.
On 94.5 ESPN.
That next best round of golf for you, well, it's going to happen at the Wisconsin Country Club. That's what I did. I became a member a couple of years ago. no assessments, no food and beverage minimums, just a beautiful golf course that is fun and challenging. It's my favorite thing. I also enjoy the practice area. I'm probably don't have a ton of time today, not enough time to go play a full round or even 9 holes. I'm going to go hit some balls on the range, work on the game a little bit, and you can too if you join the Wisconsin Country Club. Also has tennis and pickleball courts, a pool with themed Sunday fun days each and every week. So get started today. Do what I did. Become a member. Visit thewisconsincountryclub.com for membership info. The Wisconsin Country Club, just a fairway away.
I heard a story back in the day about how at these like charity events, these functions where they do raffles, you used to be able to rig the raffle by taping a coin to a ticket. So you tape a penny to the ticket that you wanted to win or whatever, a quarter or whatever. And then when the person puts their hand in, they would dig around for the quarter or the penny or whatever, and they would just flick it off with their nail, flick off the coin, and then pull up the ticket. And that was how it's so-and-so. And then, that person would win the raffle, and that's how you rigged it. I don't see the same technology working with ping pong balls, but with the NBA lottery and the Mavs, the team that did the trade of the century with Luka Doncic this past year, winning the NBA lottery, certainly got people's conspiracy theorizing going. And Chewy, you asked if the actual lottery could be rigged. Why not?
Couldn't you fill the ball full of a little bit of water or something?
Well, because you don't
make
reach,
it lighter, fill all the other ones.
You don't reach in and grab it; like comes out of the instead of the whoop. And just you grab.
Yeah,
the
but
ping
if you
pong
put
ball out of
water
the little
in
suction
That's a
thing.
good sound.
That was good. If you put water in all the other ones except the Mavs, I mean, the lightest one's going to get sucked up.
That's
right?
a good point. It's a good point. Wouldn't you be able to see the water?
But it's
though?
like a combination of like how they do it. It's like multiple ping pong balls. If you've ever watched the NBA do this. However, it's funny because Ernst & Young is the firm that helps the NBA with this to make sure it's a good process. They were fined like $100 million by the SEC for ethical violations like just a couple of years ago. So it's not like this firm that the NBA uses, is necessarily on the up and up
Squeaky
either.
clean, yeah.
Yes.
I understand why the thought process was that. And maybe there was this idea of we send Luka to LA, the number one market. We'll give you Cooper Flag. That's how it will all shake out. I generally don't think that's how it is. I always remember these conversations happening around Derrick Rose to Chicago as well. What year would that have been, Gabe?
Derrick Rose? What is that? Late 20? Was that 2008?
I'm going to look it up. Derrick Rose lottery.
2007, 2008, something like that.
Sounds about right. I wish I remembered exactly the year that it was, but it was the year that obviously Derrick Rose ended up being the Bulls got the number one pick, and Derrick Rose was the number one pick, and he went to his hometown team. 2008, maybe.
Yeah, but what's also crazy about the lottery? Only 4 players, and you could actually whittle it down to 3, and I'll tell you why in a second. Only 4 players have ever been the number one overall pick and won a championship with that franchise.
Why don't they do it like the NFL?
Because they want to dissuade tanking.
That's the reason?
That's the reason.
It seems like it actually promotes tanking. Because the more you get there,
the bigger percentage.
It feels like there's a lot more teams tanking in the NBA than there are the NFL.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's saying that's why the NFL won't do it this way, because this way promotes tanking.
No, I mean the NBA thinks that this way does not promote tanking. Yes, it's an attempt to dissuade tanking.
But you still get better odds, right? Like,
but the team with the worst record hasn't gotten the first pick in 7 years now.
Really?
Been 7 years since that.
So there's a
worst
bunch of teams who are then viable to once you're one of those bottom tier teams, you're now in a jumble of a mess. So now instead of having 2-3 teams trying to have the worst record, you have 6, 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
What would an NFL lottery look like?
Yeah, it's just the same thing, same way they do it. I mean, every other sport other than the NFL does a lottery. NHL, MLB, they all kind of just jumble it up. And
so how many teams are involved in the lottery?
All the non-playoff teams are in the lottery.
I don't think I like that. Because what was Dallas's percentage of?
1.8%?
Yeah.
Not a fan of it.
Yeah, it was less than 2% to win.
I mean, the
one number one
drama's
overall pick.
good, and I'm pro-drama.
See, I don't think the drama's that interesting. Like, I think most people that aren't focused on sports aren't really locked into the lottery process. They look at it after the case and go, oh, that's interesting. Another one of these lotteries seems to fit so nicely into a situation where it'd be a good story. And I think that's probably people's extent of it.
Like, what's the gap between Cooper Flagg and the next guy?
Pretty significant.
Yeah.
Is it?
Pretty significant.
What did we say Potawatomi had, Joshy? I know you might not have been on the show that night at Weekly Wager, but we were talking about how Potawatomi's odds now have jumped to like 10,000 or...
It's like an untouchable number.
Yeah. That he's going to be the number one
and
overall
it's been that
pick.
way since basically the tournament because I've been keeping an eye on that. It just seems like whenever there's these prospects, these guys that are this is the generational one, even though there's a generational guy every 3 or 4 years, those guys always seem to land themselves in places that aren't Utah, that aren't like the places you wouldn't want to see them. And that seems to be what everybody keys in on. There always seems to be a connection between one of these big-time prospects ending up in a spot that would be best for the NBA economy.
So you're saying it's rigged?
I'm not saying either way or there. I'm saying there's a lot of evidence to support that maybe somebody who cast doubt on it.
Pretty sure you said it.
If I were to say, hey, I mean, maybe the league that was involved with fixing the games, still having referees who had 134 calls to that referee before that, maybe I would start to point at things like that.
I mean, in the NBA, there's been long rumors of, I mean, Jen mentioned going back to Derek, it goes back to Patrick Ewing.
Yes.
And like a frozen envelope to get Patrick Ewing to the New York Knicks. Like, there has been long whispered rumors of the NBA lottery and draft process being rigged. It is minus 10,000, by the way.
So let's bring this back
Cooper
to
Flagg to go
the
number one.
Giannis Antetokounmpo quote-unquote sweepstakes. I think I saw that Jay Williams was talking about why he believes the Mavericks should consider trading the top pick instead of drafting Cooper Flagg. And, of course, that would be part of a package that they would try to put together to get Giannis. But I think one detail that should be brought up is Giannis obviously cares tremendously about loyalty. What would his interest level be in going to an organization? And I'm not saying he has, he gets to dictate necessarily his destination, but where loyalty certainly was a topic of conversation when they dealt Luka Doncic the way that they did. Would that be a thing they'd have to work through, Gabe?
Potentially, but also I think if you're Giannis, and I understand loyalty, that's certainly a word that has come up quite a bit. I know that's something that Bobby Portis had mentioned when he was on the FanDuel TV show last week about Giannis and his loyalty. But once he decides to leave Milwaukee, I mean, you can't really worry about loyalty. Because now if you're chasing that championship, yeah, maybe you go to one team for a couple of years, another team for a couple of years, and end up in that Kevin Durant space where now you're kind of chasing and trying to end up in the best situation so you can get that second championship. Like, you can't, loyalty is nice, but if you make the decision to leave, I don't think you have to be loyal to whatever organization you go to next.
Chewy, would the number one overall prospect in Cooper Flagg be enough to sway you into moving Giannis?
Alone? Just the number one pick?
No, they'd have to put together a bigger package than that, right? Because he's a prospect
more picks,
as opposed to
more young players. I mean, yeah, because Cooper Flagg seems like he's really good, but how many can't miss guys have been number one? Oh man, this guy's going to be a superstar. And injuries or whatever, it's not a guarantee. He's still just a prospect.
Why do I always go to Zion? My brain immediately goes to Zion.
Because when Zion plays, he's fantastic. But it's the when he plays caveat. 'Cause he's missed, but he's missed even more games than Jair. He's missed over half the games that he could have played in his career due to various injuries that he's had.
I mean, there will be a point in time where you have to think about moving Giannis, right? From an organizational standpoint. Or do you just...
Again, I am of the thinking that I ride out Giannis as long as I possibly can. Like, even to retirement. Because I think that there is...
Because you're loyal?
No, because I think I don't think I can, no matter what happens, no matter what package I get, like, Giannis is a once in a 50-year player for the Bucks. Literally once in 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
You have Kareem, you have Giannis. 50 years apart, winning championships. Whatever package I get, the odds are telling me I'm not going to be able to replace that. Yeah, maybe I can put together a competitive team, a fun team, maybe, that is able to, have people come. But I think there's more value in me as an owner if I am able to have that lifelong Milwaukee Buck.
Would you have felt that same way if Aaron Rodgers was a model tenant?
Yeah.
Because you're a loyal guy. You're a nice guy.
But because I think as an owner, there's value in that of having Giannis there, and then you can put up that statue. Because Giannis is getting a statue up for Feist or for. Yeah, because Giannis is your guy.
Well, but also I think it's really important, Gabe, that you're mentioning like this wide drought of superstars in Milwaukee. Like, who was the last superstar Milwaukee had? Ray Allen? Was that where he was like?
He's not.
I mean, I loved covering Michael Redd. He was great. He was loyal. He was the guy year in and year out, but he wasn't a superstar in the NBA.
Was Ray Allen a superstar?
I mean, he was once an all NBA third team guy.
Yeah, but when your superstars, Kobe, Jordan,
that's what I'm saying.
Shaq.
Yeah.
I'm not going Ray Allen.
No.
I'm just trying to think of who the last one was.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, he was a multiple-time All-Star as a member of the Bucks.
Like, your studs are Favre, Starr, Rodgers, Yount, Giannis.
Yeah.
Kareem wasn't here long enough.
Well, but he was a stud. He won a championship. Drafted by the organization.
But if you have to go all the way back to Kareem to find the last superstar for the Bucks, I think that context matters when you're talking about what will ownership do or what does ownership want to do to maintain some relevancy in the landscape.
Yeah, they had some really good players. Like, Ray Allen's a really good player. Hall of Famer, and mentioned multiple-time All-Star, and they went to an Eastern Conference Finals with him. But he's not on the same...
So is Forrest Gregg.
Yeah, really good player.
Yeah.
Really good player. But yeah, not one of those, like, franchise-altering guys. The way that Giannis has been.
Correct.
And I would hold on to that for as long as I can because there hasn't been that guy.
No.
I mean, who's Mr. Buck? Like, if we're saying it's Robin Yount is synonymous with the Milwaukee Brewers. With the Packers, it's probably Bart, right? It's probably Bart who spent his entire career. And I know it's different with no free agency.
Sure.
Who's that guy for the Bucks?
I mean, Marcus Johnson, who obviously, has been around the franchise for a very long time, played in the late 70s and early 80s.
But he finished his career elsewhere.
I mean, McLaughlin for a while.
I mean, John McLaughlin is probably the first name that came to my mind because he's still obviously here in the community, obviously with his ties with the Mac Fund and starting that organization. But who's Mr. Buck?
Yeah, well, I'm saying it not if you live here. I'm saying Pig's Knuckle, Arkansas. Milwaukee Bucks, what do you think of? And you can't say Giannis. They'd probably go,
Maybe Doc Rivers, maybe.
I have no idea. Or if I go Portland Trail Blazers, probably still have no idea.
And you don't think of much of people in Pig's Knuckle, Arkansas, do you?
Sam Bowie. For all the wrong reasons. Because you could have had Jordan, right?
Isn't the Trailblazers Dame?
Yeah, Dame. They had some good teams. Arvinas Sabonis. They had some pretty good teams in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Rasheed Wallace.
Some reaction rolling in on the Carbless talk and text line. Chris in the 262 says Jabari Parker was supposed to be our dude.
Yeah. He went number 2. And think about how stud that was supposed to be a great draft.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins, Jabari, and then Joel Embiid goes 3. Embiid's been the best, but it's not like he won an MVP.
Yeah.
But he's had plenty of injury issues, played less than 20 games this year. The NBA draft is never a guarantee.
Yeah, like if I said Sixers, who do you go to? Quick.
Sixers?
Yeah.
AI.
Who's AI?
Julius Erving.
Allen Iverson.
Oh, come on.
Thank you.
No, you go Julius Erving.
Thank you.
Of course you do.
Although AI is a good one.
People lived before the 90s, Gabe. You should really read a history book, okay?
You know who didn't live before the 90s?
Who?
Me!
That's a good point.
Well, technically.
We can go to break now.
Oh, thank you for the permission.
That's 3. You're done. That's it.
What?
Use your last one.
With a dedicated Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank knows what success looks like. For 15 years, we've been serving businesses, organizations, and individuals in the area with a long-standing commitment to the healthcare and not-for-profit sectors. Whether it's expansion to commercial payments, Fifth Third offers a full suite of financial services and solutions to navigate your organization's complex needs. Experience the difference with Fifth Third Bank National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Backups along southbound 41, starting at Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound is still slow from just north of Watertown Plank Road all the way past Hampton. Southbound 43 backing up from Hampton down past Burleigh. Northbound slowing from Fond du Lac Avenue to Keefe. Westbound 94, watch for delays from 20th Street all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard. Back on the brakes from the Zoo all the way to Elm Grove Road. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, morning patchy fog, partly cloudy skies. After that, isolated afternoon showers inland, a high of 67 at the lake, 77 inland. Tonight, areas of fog, mild with a low of 50. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems, installation of new or old hoops, and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21. Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm telling you, don't doubt his story because he heebie-jeebies at certain times to miss field goals.
Yeah.
Gabe, I showed you how he does the heebie-jeebies, right?
Heebie-jeebie.
You take your fingers and you rub them back and forth on your thigh and you go heebie-jeebie, heebie-jeebie. Swear the guy bats 100%. So to call him a liar and he puts a curse on you?
Look, I'm not calling him a liar.
Yeah, you are.
On 94.5 ESPN.
This month, There it is. This is an ad by BetterHelp. For Mental Health Awareness Month, BetterHelp surveyed 16,000 people across 23 countries for its first ever State of Stigma report. And they found this, guys. While 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, to get therapy, only 27% of Americans are actually doing it. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them. It affects their families. It affects their workplaces. It affects entire communities. I have lost track of the number of stories I have done on people who have lost their lives to suicide. And I don't want that to be the case anymore. I don't want to do any more of those stories. And I don't want our communities to lose valuable people because they didn't seek help. It's why I'm partnering with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform, having served more than 5 million people globally. Look, it is hard to ask for help, but BetterHelp is trying to make it as easy as possible. It is convenient. You can join a session with the click of a button from the privacy of your home when it fits your schedule, and they can allow you to switch therapists at any time. So do me a favor. If this is something that you think you might benefit from, visit BetterHelp.com/timeout to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Carry me home.
Looks like you're going to be needing internet access, or at least good Wi-Fi, to watch all of the NFL games in 2025. As each of the platforms have released or started to release their schedules, you got the upfronts going on in New York where all of the organizations, the networks say, these are the things we're doing this year. This is why you should invest your ad dollars with us. You're starting to see some of the games roll out, and it turns out, guys, you are going to need 10, count them, 10 channels or streaming services in order to watch every NFL game in 2025. This is starting to feel out of control, Chew. Starting to feel crazy.
I feel okay about it. My $19 service covers most of them.
You know, every time you talk about it publicly, you increase the odds of it getting shut down.
It's capped right now, so I feel pretty safe.
Capped? What does capped mean?
No more subscribers.
Oh, you've been grandfathered in.
Yes, but every now and then they open it up where I can pick and choose who I want to let in, which feels good. Feels like I have power.
Oh, you're like the guy at the
what the
velvet,
hell, man?
The velvet rope?
What the hell? I'm right here.
Well, I got to vet you. I got to go through a vetting process.
We've known each other for 12 years.
Yeah.
But not only that, he does all your bidding for you.
I know. Basically, what I'm saying is I can be bought.
You would have thought the Gabe would have bought you by now.
How many more rides to the airport do you need?
Why? What are the What are the streaming services? Netflix.
Yes. Let's see if you can guess
Prime.
it, Gabe. Yes.
Yep. That's probably it.
That's all you got?
Well, that's not it.
Prime.
So Netflix Prime.
Nailed it.
They added a new one this year because the South America game is going to be streamed.
Oh, Peacock.
Yep. So Peacock is an exclusive game.
Hulu?
No.
No Hulu? I mean, like Fox, CBS, all those?
Those are networks.
Yeah. I'm just
Fox,
there's
CBS,
2 more
NBC,
streaming. 2 more streaming you need.
Streaming.
What do we stream on every day?
Oh, YouTube.
There it is.
Yep. That's a new one this year.
Okay.
And obviously everybody has access to that. It's free. And then there's one more.
I said Peacock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pluto?
Where do I work?
You work at ESPN.
And then?
Plus.
There it is.
I've got that. I'm covered.
So those are all the streaming services you need to watch every single game this
And
year.
NFL Network, too.
Yes, that's a network. Yeah. Fold that in.
Can you get NFL Network if you have basic cable, or is that okay? So there you go. So you have to pay extra to get NFL Network.
I believe you do get access to that through NFL Plus if you subscribe to the premium NFL Plus.
Okay, you're still paying something.
You get
So you have to pay for Peacock, you have to pay for Netflix, you have to pay for Prime, you have to pay for Plus, and you have to pay for the NFL Network.
Yes. Well, and again, pay for ESPN if you want to pay for basic cable.
But the only thing that stinks about all these streaming networks are the announcers, and that's why they should give you the option to listen to John Madden if you want to.
The only thing
Am I
that
right?
stinks.
Again.
Why? What do you think stinks?
I mean, the amount of money it would cost me to be able to watch every game. That's what stinks.
Like I watched on Netflix last year. It was fine. It
Chewy's
wasn't
like,
great.
didn't you win that $1,000 from
Yeah.
Craig? What are you complaining about, Joshy?
Spent it. I went to Chicago.
I was about to say that's. I mean, Joshy only got half of that. I mean, there's the Mussolini tax that you got to pay on that.
That is a hefty tax.
Might be more than a 50% tax. Not quite sure.
The problem is, guys, people are going to do it. You know,
Yeah,
they're
which is
going
why the NFL continues to do
And
it.
you know what people are going to do is they're going to dig their heels. They're going to be like, I'm not paying that. I'm not paying that. I'm not paying. And then the morning of the game, they're going to be going through withdrawal, and they're going to be like, all right, just sign up for it, and then end up.
But what the NFL still does right. So we listed off all those. To watch a Packers game this year, the only thing you need is an antenna. Because all those games with the TV rights deals they have, if you're in Green Bay and if you're in Milwaukee, all those games end up on over-the-air television.
What? Even Netflix?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. That's the one thing they can hang their hat on is the local networks will always have your local team on. Now, if you're in Madison, things get a little tricky.
Okay.
I don't know why
because
they don't
that's
give
not
the
the
whole
home
state.
market. Yeah,
Right.
it's either Green Bay or Milwaukee. So I've never had that issue. Like as a kid, I didn't have cable growing up, but to watch Sunday night games, it would always be on. Have the antenna,
rabbit ears, yeah.
make sure it's pointed towards Milwaukee, and grab one of those whatever station it happened to be on.
It seems to me like an exercise in futility at this point to try and say, hey, I wish it wasn't this way. It's just going to keep going this way, and it's probably going to end up in a spot where the playoffs are like subscription based.
Well, we've seen that. They've put games exclusively on
Right.
Peacock.
I'm saying like the whole thing. And like
the entire playoffs.
And like the Super Bowl being a pay-per-view, how far are we away from that? Because they are going to take every piece.
That would be dumb.
Would
do you
it?
think?
Or would it make them billions and billions of more dollars?
We were talking about
Well, you've got
good
to have
faith
you've
earlier on the show.
I mean, there's a break-even point there because they're already getting how much money per commercial, and if you go to a pay-per-view format, you're going to get not as much per commercial. Because
do you think?
Yeah, because those companies aren't going to pay because your viewership is going to go down.
I don't know enough about the pay-per-view model, to be honest with you. I feel like maybe, Gabe, because of your wrestling experience, maybe you're more familiar with the structure of that. Like when you're watching a pay-per-view event for wrestling, are there commercials?
Yeah, there are. If you do not have, so they're all for WWE. They're all on Peacock, and depending upon the tier of Peacock that you have, sometimes they might show you a video promoting the match leading into the match, or you get commercials.
So, and they must have done all of the math. They have crunched those formulas to know what the rate has to be at each spot so that they are still making money, even if you opt out of the ads, right? Because then they theoretically aren't using the ads.
Yeah, but you are paying more as the customer to avoid those, right? Your Peacock Premium or whatever the tiers are of Peacock.
Not me. You know what else I get? Pay-per-view. Free.
You know, I could care less about your little
See,
system.
now the fact that he said that means he really cares.
Yeah, well, it's completely
invite you
irrelevant
over.
to the discussion we're having.
No, you won't.
I'm just telling you about the value, the smart value that I have in my streaming service.
The illegal.
It's not illegal, as far as you know.
Peter weighing in on the Carbless Talking text line, guys. He says, don't give in. Support your local bars and establishments. Watch the games there. I suppose if you want to, you do that on a lot of Sundays.
I love it.
Go to the bar. They got all the televisions on various games, and
You got food right there. It's lush.
most importantly, beverages.
Yeah. I just don't want to do Jägermeister, okay? Stop coming up to me, and I don't want to do a shot. I'm not 12.
12-year-olds don't do shots.
No, sure don't.
Sorry. Oh, they do.
Gabe loves a little Jaeger.
Gabe does?
A little black magic every once in a while. Start your Saturday off right.
You know what I love is a fireball. I love a fireball
You
shot.
and Homer?
Maybe.
It's too cinnamon. Cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
No. What are you doing? He's not giving you the cable. He's not giving you the logins.
Well, I got to try somehow, Jen.
Did you know
Got to
cinnamon?
let him off the hook.
Did you know?
Enlighten us.
Did you know cinnamon is flammable?
No.
Yes.
I knew that because one of the bars around here serves a drink that Mussolini likes that they always light on fire.
And they light the cinnamon
And
on
it
fire.
ticks me off. I don't want a fire around my drink.
Yes.
Stop with all the gussying it up. Serve me the drink.
Where do you want fire? Like campfire.
Fireplace.
That's it, right? Like
Neighbor's house next door.
the end
I
of
look like a hero.
At the end of a cigarette I'm smoking.
that's about it. Maybe the broiler every once in a while. You got to broil something. All right, we got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We'll wrap up the show right after this. Stick around.
I'm excited because today is the day. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin coming over to my house. And right now, there's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors because Pella is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. I've got my free in-home consultation coming today. I commit to nothing at this point. They can come in to your home as well. They'll listen to your vision, suggest the Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality, then get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply. Deal ends May 31st, 2025, so visit PellaWI.com today.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman's Brad Nortman. You hear me talk about Carbless and their refreshing flavors all the time. One of my favorites is watermelon, and Carbless just dropped the Watermelon Vodka Cocktail 4-pack. Perfect for chilling, grilling, or game day thrills. You know the drill. Zero sugar, unlimited flavor. Enjoy clean, crisp refreshment without the guilt. That's what Carbless does. Find the new Watermelon 4-packs wherever you get your Carbless. Crack open the taste of summer and get your bliss on.
Get a taste of that winning feeling before the final buzzer sounds with ESPN Bet's early victory promo. Simply place a pregame moneyline bet on any NBA playoff game, and if the team you back goes up 20 or more points at any point in the game, your bet will get paid out early. Available throughout the NBA playoffs at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Are you ready for the NFL season? The schedule release is coming, and we know the best place to get your tickets this year. My friends at Vivid Seats. They're seriously legit, and you earn rewards on every purchase. That's basically free football games. When that schedule hits, don't wait around. For the best selection and all the great deals, head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in your game days now.
Evan Cohen here. When the draft clock is ticking, you've got to pick the best talent, regardless of position, to fit your team's needs. Well, if you're hiring for your business, you want to find the best talent for any of your roles. That's why you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology hustles to find qualified candidates for your job immediately. And if you see a standout candidate, ZipRecruiter lets you personally invite them to apply. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL. Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Tuning into your favorite team's game or actually going to the stadium is better when you feel at your best. If something's not quite right, reduce tension and pain and increase flexibility with expert-assisted stretching at Stretch Lab. Each session is customized to your body's needs with your unique goals in mind. Visit your local Stretch Lab today or go to stretchlab.com to get up to 50% off your first 50-minute stretch. Plus, get an additional $10 off with code FAN10. That's code FAN10 at stretchlab.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What's the one thing you say almost weekly here on the show?
Less eat.
Try again.
I don't know.
What's the one thing you've got?
Big boobs.
You've got time.
Oh,
time. You've got time.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
We got there.
I needed a few more hints.
Yeah. You put you in a... That's Gabe's fault.
On 94.5 ESPN.
If If you're going through Bucks withdrawal, might I recommend Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. It's presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks dives deep into Bucks and Six, a culture unknowingly created by Brandon Jennings. You can take a look inside his story, the origin of Bucks and Six, how it became a rallying cry, and what it truly means to Jennings and Bucks fans alike. Find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher. I'm not really sure that we put anything on the polls this morning, but I'm walking out of the studio today a winner. Because I got this new Masters cap from Adam Schefter, and I forgot my hat today, and I said when I walked in, I like having a hat on, and now I got a hat.
You're welcome.
It all worked out. Well, because you talk about you're going to take credit for this. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. So I don't think you can roll your eyes anymore when Adam and I take a little golf time because you got a hat on.
Yeah, and it's not a cheap hat. I thought we might be getting the
like the giveaways.
Yeah, that's legit hat.
Where the Masters is just a sticker and starts peeling off.
I got one of those. That's my sweat hat. It's gross.
I'm with you. I got hats I run in. I got hats I work out in, and then I got hats that are just for going out and keeping the sun off my face.
Turn yellow?
Well, I have like sunscreen on. Yeah, they turn gross. They're gross.
Yeah, I have a green hat that is no longer green. It's the dog walking, lawn mowing.
Mowing the hat.
And all the ones where it's like, I don't care what I look like when I'm doing this activity.
Yeah.
Anything physical? Yeah, no. That's the hat.
Sometimes those hats look better. Like farmers' hats always look cool.
Well, they don't look better.
'Cause you're a grinder.
No, they look.
You appreciate the grind.
They have cachet. They have like
character.
Yeah, like you know that he earned that hat. You know, as opposed to me where I get a new one every week. Go to the draft, get a hat. Adam Schefter, get a hat. I actually am getting my closet redone, and I had to say, and where am I putting my hats? You know, that's a thing you guys have, right?
Who
You have
redoes a closet? Please help us, enlighten us.
What do you mean? Who redoes?
I mean,
a
you
closet?
got a basement, you got a kitchen. Oh, maybe I'll just redo my closet. Is that code for like I need more space? We're blowing out a wall.
Closet by Design is redoing the closet.
There
but...
you have it. Just had to get to the bottom of that.
Hooks everywhere, Chewy.
Yes.
Wilde and Tosh is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great one, everybody.